Hey there, it's Bethany with Fidelis Property Group. Are you wondering what the BAH or Basic Allowance for Housing is in Alexandria, Virginia, and how far it will get you? Stay tuned to find out. If you're watching on YouTube, please hit subscribe to get all of our tips on living in Alexandria, Virginia, and additional info specifically for military families who are either living here or PCSing to the area. We're a military family too and have been through many moves, and one of the first questions we always ask before we move to a new place is, what's the BAH and how much house can we afford with it? We want to know in advance if we're going to be able to get a big enough space close to our duty station, or if the BAH will only get us into a shack an hour away from my husband's office. So in Alexandria, the cost of living is a little bit higher than average compared to the rest of the country. So the BAH is higher too, and that gives you as a family the opportunity to either live in a larger space or to get a smaller space and try to cover other expenses like utilities with your BAH. And now it's important to note that there are a lot of duty stations around Alexandria, Virginia, so let's talk about that. The closest one is Fort Belvoir, an Army installation on the southern end of Alexandria, but the Pentagon is also very nearby in Arlington, Virginia, as well as Joint Base Anacostia Bowling on the southeast end of Washington, D.C. The BAH rates for these three duty stations are the same. However, there are a few other duty stations in the DC metro area where you might decide to live in Alexandria and commute to those locations, such as Fort Meade in Maryland or Quantico Marine Corps Base in Quantico, Virginia. The BAH for those duty stations is slightly lower, and since BAH is tied to your duty station and not where you rent or buy a house, you will have a little less money to play with if you decide to live in Alexandria and work in either of those areas. The BAH for Fort Meade is about 6 to 10% lower than the Pentagon and Fort Belvoir, while Quantico BAH is about 20 to 25% lower. To save time from listing out the exact BAH for every single pay grade, I'm going to link to the 2020 BAH tables on our website below. After you watch this video, go check it out. But first, stay tuned and we'll talk about how far your money will get you in this area. So what kind of house and how much space can you get for your money around here? I'm going to use two pay grade examples, E6 and O4, for the purpose of this video and just to give you guys an idea of what you can get with those BAH rates. The BAH for an E6 is between $2,300 and $2,556 without and with dependents, and for an O4 it's $2,673 and $3,027 without and with dependents. And because interest rates are so low right now, you can typically buy a home and have the same monthly mortgage payment as if you were to rent that same place. So the numbers and the types of homes I'll discuss here will be roughly the same whether you'll be buying or renting. So for both an E6 and an O4, the types of homes you can get with your BAH is a good mix of condos, townhomes, and single-family homes. You will have more single-family home options at the higher BAH rates naturally, and yet in either case, you'll have access to places in every part of Alexandria, from the Old Town area and places bordering Arlington on the north side, all the way down to Mount Vernon, bordering Fort Belvoir on the south side. For an E6, your BAH is going to get you between 900 and 2,300 square feet, and for an O4, it's going to be between 1,000 and 2,600 square feet, mostly depending on which part of Alexandria the home is in. In Old Town and Delray, for example, which are super popular neighborhoods where the homes tend to be smaller, you're going to get an awesome walkable location, and yet not as much elbow room as other parts of Alexandria, so keep that in mind. It's important to note too that I'm only talking about square footage above grade. That is, this doesn't include the basement. And you'll see this a lot in home listings online where it says taxable square footage. That's square footage above ground. And for some reason, Virginia always breaks this out separately from any basement square footage. Most homes in this area do have basements, so you may also be able to count on having a rec room or a man cave in whichever home you choose. One other thing it's important to note is that your monthly payment and the part of town you live in will also dictate the amenities that come with the home. For example, yards and garages. Garages are super common among the homes in, for example, Kingstown, Mount Vernon, and Fort Hunt. They're very rare to find in Old Town and Delray though. And if you want a garage, you're definitely going to pay more. So when you start searching for a home, make sure you know what your must-haves are in a place versus your nice-to-haves, because those features will heavily dictate your location and the amount of BAH that you'll use. One last tip I'll leave you with is that the Northern Virginia real estate market can be very competitive for both rentals and purchases. Even rentals can have multiple applications on them, so you always need to think about crafting an offer that will stand out to a landlord or a seller. It's really a seller's and landlord's market here, so if you want to get a great place and you want a strategy to get one that's uniquely tailored to your family's needs, reach out to me directly and we'll talk about how to do that before your house hunting leave begins. All right, that's all for today. If you have any questions about Alexandria, Virginia, or the BAH here, feel free to drop a comment below or reach out to me directly. I would love to help you make your home search process here in the Alexandria, Virginia super easy. We'll see you next time. Have a great day. Okay, why isn't this working? Oh my gosh. How did I mess that up? Oh. Okay, the BAH rates are, yeah, false start. Okay, next time. The first questions we always ask, are we going to be able to get a big enough space closer? Space, that's cute. Okay.